Well, hello, and welcome back. I had a drift car for like 6 months, and well, I never really nailed the drift. I'll be honest with you, alright? I'll tell you right now, I'm not good at drifting. But I learned more about myself, cars, and, well, drifting than I ever thought possible. And yeah, I hit the wall a time or two. My weapon of choice was a BMW E46. Now this was the 330i model, so if you're gonna be drifting on a budget, this is probably your best option. I paid $1,900 for the car and it was pristine. It was actually a super clean, rust-free, just decently taken care of BMW. It had to have been a Southern car because there was not a speck of rust on the entire car. Even like some of the rubber moldings were cracking from being dried out in the sun, and that doesn't happen here in Ohio. And it actually started out life as an automatic car, but before I bought it, somebody had swapped it to manual, and well, this was the ideal car for me to drift in, so of course I just had to buy it. When it came to prepping this car for the drift track, I really didn't have to do a whole lot. I started off by installing some coilovers onto it, which in reality probably ended up hurting my drifting more than helping it. They were just some cheap garbage eBay coilovers that I got actually off of Facebook used for like $200. I installed a cheap angle kit. Now this was not the crappy little thing that they sell. This was an actual kit with control arms. I think it was like $400 or $500. Some cheap knockoff of, I don't remember what brand, but anyways, the kit actually worked pretty well and it gave me a good amount of angle. And of course, I had to weld the rear diff. Now, I'd say the angle kit and the rear diff are the only two mods that I really had to do in order to really elevate, the drifting experience. So there's the Prius section. I just zip tied the. I also ended up later down the line, I ended up installing a Prius electric power steering system into the car. Now this is just almost like a standalone unit that I retrofitted into the car, and what that involved is essentially swapping out the steering column. I didn't do the whole column. I had to do like piece it together, whatever. But I ended up getting it running and working good, and it actually was pretty cool to have electric power steering in the E46. But I've already tested it, it works. So I believe that this may be the first E46 running a Prius power steering setup. And that was pretty much it. That was the only mods that I had to do to get this thing sideways and start on my journey of learning how to drift. Now I did install a hydraulic handbrake in the car, but I never really used it because I didn't really know how to use it at the time, and I still don't. I never learned. But I think I'm starting to grasp the concept in my mind, and we'll see what happens when I get back out on the drift track with another car. The first event that I drifted in was actually a private, I guess you could call it, party. It was my friend's birthday, the guy that actually got me into drifting. It was his birthday and he had rented out a drift track near us for that occasion. And well, when I showed up and I took my car out, I was instantly hit with a pretty severe reality check. Like, Drifting looks easy on YouTube. You know, it looks so effortless, so smooth, so elegant. And well, when I went out there, man, I don't even forget the car, forget everything about doing anything with the car. Just the concept of you got to use both your hands, one for steering, one for shifting, e-brake, and both of your feet have to be precisely employed. Every time I go to press something with my left foot, I just mash that thing all the way down, and I've been trying to get better at it. I've been trying to just force myself to left foot brake, just in day-to-day driving, and man, it's like you think you're gonna be smooth with it, and you hit that brake pedal, and it's like it shoots you forward because you just smashed the brake pedal.
That's bugs.
So all of that is to say that, man, drifting is certainly an acquired skill. It's certainly something that you have to practice. And it sounds obvious, and it sounded obvious to me before, but I'd never really realized how true that is until I tried it. And it was fun. I love learning new things, so I really enjoyed trying to learn to drift. And I believe it was at this first event that I really ran into some issues with the car. Now, drifting is not like driving, you know, down the highway 70 miles an hour. This is really pushing your car to its limits. And man, my radiator busted. I think that the 20-year-old plastic or whatever it had enough, and it just sprung a crack and just leaked all the coolant out. Earlier that same day, I believe it was, I'm just driving, and all of a sudden I lose power steering, and I'm like, man, that sucks. I'm trying to figure out what the hell's going on. I popped the hood, looking in there, and everything seems fine. The pulley on the pump is spinning. Obviously the belts are still on. I'm like, I guess this pump just stopped pumping, right? But later on, when I actually took the car apart, when I went to go fix it, when I actually took that old pump off, it hit me pretty quick as to what was causing the no power steering issue. And that was, well, the pulley, the drive shaft on the pump had actually snapped inside the pump, all the way in there. So essentially the pulley was just free spinning, and it could have came out at any minute. So I'm lucky that didn't happen, but I've never seen anything like that before. But when you're out there on a real track, in a real car, man, it is total chaos. You're using both of your hands, both of your feet, and you're trying to time everything perfectly, and it is incredibly overwhelming. But when that radiator blew up, that ended the night for me, and well, it was back to the garage to fix the E46. One run, I locked up my brakes and I was coming up on a wall, and I think it just came out of a drift, and I was heading slightly towards a wall, so something like this. And instead of, you know, gently applying the brakes and turning the wheel and kind of going this way, I just locked up the brakes and just boom, smacked the wall with the front right of the car. And man, I thought it was game over after that. That was a hard hit, and I think the car jumped like a foot in the air. But anyways, it landed down. I limped it off of the track. When I got out, there was no damage at all on the car, and I was like, what the hell just happened? How the hell is that possible? So I felt pretty relieved at that moment. And then I went back out on the track, and I spun out and I smashed the quarter panel. And again, I could have probably avoided wrecking the quarter panel if I hadn't just locked up. The wall was right here. I was coming around the bend, and I obviously spun out, and I just started going towards the wall like this. And again, I just hit the brakes, and that's it. But I think if I would have put it in, like, you know, first, second gear and just floored it, it might have not actually contacted the wall. It's easy to sit here and speculate now after it's over, you know, what I could have done differently, how I could have not hit the wall, but it is what it is. Move on to the next, next run.
What you wanna do? Tell me what you like. What you wanna do? Tell me what you like. Just say the word, baby, I'ma get you right. What you wanna do? Tell me what you like. What you wanna do? Tell me what you like. What you wanna do? Tell me what you like. Ain't gotta say it, I know I'm the one you like.
And as if wrecking my car wasn't enough, they came and they're like yelling at me that I didn't follow the layout, and I'm like, man, I don't know what the hell I'm doing out here, bro. There was also a ton of great moments as well. I remember one thing that sticks out in my mind is I'm sitting there waiting for my turn, and a random guy just walks up and he's like, hey man, can I hop in with you for this run? And well, I was like, sure. If you want to be disappointed, then be my guest. I don't care. And then afterwards, he kind of gave me a couple pointers, whatever he thought, and you know, it was very encouraging because he was very nice about it. So I appreciate that a whole lot. And if you're listening, if you ever watch this video, man, thank you. Seems like, especially when you get into actually racing, like drag racing, drifting, it seems like the community is actually very tight knit. You know, they're always willing to help if they're able to. I never expected drifting to be easy, but I also didn't expect it to be like impossibly freaking hard. So when you see these crazy drifts on, you know, social media, Instagram, you know, YouTube, whatever, you gotta really sit there and go, wow, that guy is really freaking good at what he does. Anyways, I'm Taras, and this is Objective Garage, where we wrench with heart, speak the truth, and always keep it real. Thank you guys. See you next time. yeah, see you next time. Peace.